Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the 48 laws of power, and I'm just going to focus on law number 15, which is crush your enemy totally. And for those of you who don't know who the 48 laws of power, what that's all about, that is a book that was written by Robert Greene. That's available, I'm sure, on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. It's probably on Audible as well. And you could literally Google these laws and they'll come up for you. Okay. He has made an upgraded version with 50 Cent called the 50th Law of Power, 50 Laws of Power. And, I guess you got revamping it, with 50 cents. Okay. But from the original book, law number 15 is crush your enemy totally. And as survivors of narcissistic abuse, I want to focus on this law, but I do want to recommend that you guys just generally read that book because you're going to learn a lot about manipulation in that book. And as I've read the book several times myself, and a lot of these techniques is what the narcissist is doing. The narcissist is doing a lot of these, and that's why they've been successful, at least in a short term. Okay. Alrighty. So let's talk about law number 15, crush your enemy totally. So, this is all stemming from a kill or be killed type of thing where, okay, you're meeting this narcissist, you find out who they are. They've stabbed you in the back at least one time, usually dozens. And you find out, okay, this person is no good for me. This person is an enemy of mine. The narcissist is your enemy. And a lot of you may not even see it that way now. The narcissist is your enemy. They're not your friend. They're not even neutral. This person is an enemy of yours. Okay, they don't care for you. They don't love you. They're not thinking about your best interests ever on any scale. It's all about them and what they want and using you to get that. That's it. You are a tool. You're not even a human being. So as you guys can see on the level of disrespect that this person has had, this person is your enemy. They came with a smile. And that's one of the other laws. Let me see which law is that. Law number 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. That's what they do on the love bomb stage. Where they befriending you and acting like your lover and getting all this information about you so that they can utilize that to, get what they want. Okay. But let's focus back on crushing your enemy totally. Because have you left a crack in the door? Is there a way that the narcissist can seep back into your life? If you have, you definitely haven't crushed the narcissist totally out of your life. You have not gone that full no contact. Okay? Because going no contact, that is a part of it. For those of you that can. And even those of you that have to deal with the narcissist because of children, for instance, there's still a certain way that you can crush them by not letting them have access to anything beyond what you legally have to and gray rocking them all along. Not giving them any other information about your life, definitely no access to your resources. Okay, so it's going to be important to crush your enemy totally in life because if you don't, they'll obviously be able to see back into your life in some shape, form, or fashion. So how do we do this? How do we crush our enemy totally? Well, we did talk about going no contact, but what type of mentality needs to go behind making a successful no contact? What needs to also be present to help it sustain and be endured and everlasting? Number one, you can't sympathize. You can't sympathize about anything. Stop sympathizing about what could have been and start remembering what it actually was. Don't sympathize about how now this narcissist has to see this other side of you. Because a lot of you in my audience, they're used to being the quote unquote nice guys, used to being the quote unquote good person, used to, being the happy, uplifting, positive person. So, when you have to assert yourself, some of you, it might be foreign to you. When you have to do what you have to do to protect yourself, when it means someone else isn't getting their way, you might feel conflicted about that. That just means you have some shadow work to do. Because what will eventually happen is you start putting other people's needs before yours, and you're actually contributing to yourself being victimized at that point. Because you're not able to stand up for yourself, because you get conflicted if you can't feel like you're standing up for you and them. Or you don't want to hurt other people to stand up for yourself, or quote unquote hurt other people. That narcissists don't care. They're just going to find another prey. They know it's not going to work on everybody, and they know there's an exit date for everybody. So they're already knowing it's going to end. It's just a matter of how long can they manipulate you? How much can they secrete? How long will you allow it to continue? How many times will you go back? How many times will you fall for it? That's all they're thinking, but they know it'll eventually stop. But how long will I be able to keep this person on the spinning wheel before they stop running, step off of it, and walk away? But we have to stop sympathizing with them. Okay, so that's going to be one part of it. Another one is you have to get rid of their hopes for reconciliation. Leave no room for them to feel like there's something to negotiate. Room for them to maneuver their way back into your life. Oh, well, if I give her a really good apology, that'll work. Or the female narcissist, oh, if I get back in his bed and put it on him again, that'll get me back in. He'll be so full of lust for me that all will be forgiven. Stop leaving room. So then that means you're not inviting them back. You're not inviting that additional conversation. You don't want to hear anything else they have to say, because what they did was enough. There's nothing they can say that's going to trump what they actually do and what they actually did. You should have seen enough by now. This person has showed you who they are. You got to stop leaving that room. Because, that other side of you would love this narcissist to come back on their knees, right? And saying, I'm sorry. And now it's going to be happily ever after. That's not realistic, guys. That's still being in a fantasy world. And that gets us tripped up when dealing with people like this. So you can't leave that hope. You can't leave that room. If the narcissist is saying, okay, I just got to give it time. And I know if I give it enough time, this person won't be as mad. And I'll be able to sweet talk my way back. Or if it's money, if they feel like they can control you with money, and then you'll still be their emotional punching bag or whatever, flunky, doormat. Okay, so you have to stop leaving that room, guys. That's going to be another aspect. All right, and you have to understand that basically when you leave that room for your enemy, it's like leaving a poisonous snake in your house. It could slither anywhere, but you don't know when it's going to attack you and put that venom in you again. It could be in any room of the house, but it can come in your bed while you're sleeping one day and bite you again. And sometimes the venom is so toxic that it kills you. Okay? And you guys got a little taste of the venom, and you're able to purge it out of your body, and even that has been a process. You don't want to have to go through that again, even worse. Because guess what? The enemy can come back stronger every time because it's very familiar with you at this point. It's very familiar. So it's getting to know you better and better. It knows your weaknesses, knows your strengths. So it can strategize even better every time. This is why you have to just cut your losses. And I've made a video about that before. Cut your losses. Cut your losses. Let this toxic person go. Crush your enemy totally. Go no contact and do not break it. Do not sympathize. Do not leave room. Do not leave a crack open and keep them around in any shape, form, or fashion. Unless, those of you that have children, you're going to have to do it in that extent. But there are ways around that as well. The pickup does not have to be at your personal property. There are ways to do that. That narcissist does not have the right to step foot in your home. You don't take personal phone calls that's not about the children. You can communicate through apps that are utilized in court, and only that. Doesn't have to be on your personal phone number, per se. So there are ways around it to make it very crystal clear to that narcissist for those of you who have to deal with them in a certain way. It'll make it very clear to them where you stand. And there's not a seed in their mind. But who cares what's in their mind? Just know what's in yours. Because sometimes, they're full of arrogance and ego. And they don't want to believe that someone that they used to have on a rope is done cut the rope and got free. They don't like to believe it. But your actions will show them everything that they need to do. All right. So also, when I say don't give them anything to negotiate, as far as crushing your enemy totally, that's having control over your emotions as well. They're not going to be able to negotiate themselves back into your life, but they're not going to be able to manipulate you or negotiate you in other ways as well. Let's say you had a conversation with this narcissist and you got crazy emotionally and blew your top. They were like plucking you and picking at you to get that response, but they got it out of you. You weren't able to maintain your gray rock. And now you look deranged and erratic and crazy in other people's eyes, where it might matter in a child custody suit or something. So you're not going to give them nothing to negotiate as well. You don't want them to have nothing in their back pocket to use against you either. And that's another way to crush your enemy totally. So if you've been out of control with the narcissist, get control. Start getting control. Find ways to do that. If it's, we communicated about the kids via text. This way, because in a phone setting, when you're talking over the phone, it's a back and forth thing pretty quick. You're not taking the time to think before you speak, and all that texting and emailing and stuff allows you to at least think. So even if they say something to piss you off in that text or email, you can walk away from it and come back when you're cool-headed. Okay, guys? So I just wanted to point this out because a lot of us don't know that we're still walking hand in hand with our enemies. And we're not dealing with them as our enemy. And we're not crushing them out of our life, especially when they're still a threat. And a narcissist is the type of enemy, any enemy is generally still a threat. Unless they're like serving life somewhere in jail, But even then, they could work through other people who are free. They're flying monkeys and allies. This world that we live in and these narcissists, they're deep, guys. They're deep. And some of you, I don't think you take it as serious as you should. I really don't know if you're taking it as serious as you should. I've had instances with my former narcissist when I knew they were doing something shady right in front of my face, so to speak. But it wasn't to my advantage to call them out on it. I seen exactly what the person was doing. They thought they were fooling me. They thought they were tricking me. I had already thought about what this person could have been setting up prior to the situation, because we had kids together, and I had to interact with this person, but I knew what the person was doing. And sometimes you play the fool for the fool that thinks they're fooling you. You don't have to let the narcissist know that you know they're what they're doing, because all they're going to do then is change it. It's almost to your advantage not to let them know that you know, and don't let them specifically know you know what their game plan is, because then they're going to change it. Then you want to have to figure out the new one. No, I'd much rather let the person think that I don't know and just stay several steps ahead of them as far as how I want to react and respond to that plan. My response is my reaction, but a well thought out one though. And there's been times in my life where I've seen people that they were betraying me right in front of my face, or doing something sneaky or sly, and my intelligence told me not to call them out on that, to just make a note of it and to deal with them differently moving forward. Because now, I have the upper hand. I know your strategy. Once I tell you I know your strategy, an intelligent person is just going to switch it. And now I may not be in the know like I do now, but you think I don't know. But I don't want to digress, guys. I do not want to digress. Okay? But yes, we don't want the narcissist feeling like they can just have you back on their time, because they done ran off with the next supply or whatever. They're occupied with that. And then one day they're like, I think I'm going to go pluck some supply out of this person. And they'll map it out very strategically. So you guys have to become strategic as well in your thinking and how you're dealing with people like this. But the best thing you can do, obviously, and the whole point of the video, is to crush your enemy totally. Not telling anyone to go out here and murder anyone. Let's just make that. Let me say that. There are many other ways to crush someone. Okay? You can crush them by not giving them access. To not have those ties. Not giving them financial access. Not giving them sexual access. Not giving them physical access of being in your presence. Not giving them your mental and psychological. That's gray rocking. Just being done with that. And that's the no contact. Okay, guys, so I hope this video is helping someone, and we're getting a little deeper into this and taking this serious, because you've been through enough. You've been through enough. I don't want you to be with a new narcissist, and I don't want the old narcissist coming back and having another field day with you. You have to start thinking in a way that is going to protect you in life. We have to step up to some more levels here. We got to step it up. Okay, guys? So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos quite frequently. You can always check my descriptions to see what I got going on with coaching. I'm available for that. Just email coachlakia@gmail.com. I have books, guys, on Barnes & Noble and Amazon to help you heal from toxic relationships and help recenter yourself, okay? Lots of pearls of wisdom there. I highly recommend that. Check them out. All right. Anything else? I have a support group on Facebook. You'll see Lakia Reflection and Progression. Crawford, and you can go ahead and request me for that. Inbox me and let me know that you're a survivor, because I have like 500 requests right now. All right. And outside of that, guys, just be careful. Just be careful. The narcissist ultimately destroys themselves. Ultimately they're going to destroy themselves. All right. But I wasn't telling you to destroy them. I was just telling you to crush them out of your life. But they'll ultimately destroy themselves one way or another. Sometimes it's slow like paint on the wall, but it happens. One way or another, they will destroy themselves. But you don't need to be getting destroyed along with them, because trust me, they'll pull any and everybody down with them. Misery loves company, guys. Until next time, guys, take care.